for a chance to win an autographed limited edition Tommy Hayden poster celebrating Tommy's first Superbike win at Auto Club Speedway. Tune in to watch OTT's segment on Tommy from Road America. Watch the video and tell us who Tommy thanks on the podium. Email your answer to OnTheThrottle.TV at gmail.com for your chance to win one of those limited edition signed Tommy Hayden posters. Okay, Richie, we are going to get a lesson on tire warmers from you guys. You guys use tire warmers. Lots of track day dudes do and club racers. So start, go.
Okay. Well, the main thing with the tire warmer is really getting the tire and the wheel up to temperature so the rider has, the grip right away. Guys who do track days, maybe not as important because they're always on the track throughout the day. But, as a racer, he's going out on brand new tires usually, and we definitely want to have the rim heated as much as the tire, and that's what's important about the tire warmers because it's heating the whole thing and it's keeping the core of the tire warm.
The idea is to get the warmth not just on the surface but through the tire and into the rim. I've heard that if you don't heat the rim up, then the rim robs the heat from the tire.
Yeah, absolutely, because it's cold metal, so you want to have not just the outside surface, but you want to have the inside of the tire as well as the rim warm, and that's how you really know when it's up to temperature. You feel the inside of the rim and you feel warmth, all right, I got some temperature in it. We like to go the next step and use boxes. Chicken Hawk has a tire box that tells you the temperature, and that's when we know when we're at optimal temperature. So we maintain the temperature with this box of, that temp that we want. We're able to maintain it with the box. So once it gets to the reaching point, we know we can set our hot tire pressures because we roll on hot pressures, not on cold pressures, which is what a lot of street guys or track day guys do. They'll roll on cold temperatures, but we need to be more accurate. So we get to an optimal temperature, and then we'll set our pressures. So the Chicken Hawk tire boxes are great for that.
In the old days, you set a cold pressure before the days of tire warmers, and then you looked for a pressure gain as you went out on the track. Am I right?
Yeah, that is right. And today, with today's technology and the new tech tires from Dunlop, especially the rear, it is actually very critical to go out on a lower pressure and a correct hot pressure off the warmer. You still see a rise because the tire is still going to heat up, but it's not as large of a rise, so it's a lot more controlled.
So even with the tire warmers, you're not going to get the tire to the operating temperature of pounding out, say, 5 or 6 laps?
No. You'll always see, on an average of probably 3 PSI higher. 2 to 3 is what you look for, sometimes higher depending on how the track and what the type of track, like a carousel here, may generate more heat. Some of the faster tracks like Road Atlanta, sometimes with the back banking or back straightaway. So, we do monitor rise. That's just as important. But that's actually going for the very little,
Yeah, it's still not the kind of change you were looking at before tire warmers when you went from a cold pressure to an operating pressure.
Yeah, no, cold pressures. Cold pressures you'd see a lot larger rise for sure. Yep.
Okay, now you've got some rain tires off to your right hand there. There's a big thing about using tire warmers on rain tires. Do you guys heat the reins?
It's a rider preference. I mean, it's for the rider's head. If the rider's like, listen, I know as soon as it hits the cold, wet track, it's going to rob all the heat, then we don't. Some of our riders in the past do want the tires to be on warmers for 15, 20 minutes, and I think it's just a mental thing at that stage. Dunlop even says the same thing, let the rider decide. They say there's no need for warmers.
Yeah, because the minute it gets out there, it's robbing that heat. What kind of temperatures do the rain tires run at mostly? What's the difference between that and, say, a slick on a dry day?
Well, the fronts actually are pretty much spot on, same temperatures within a couple of degrees, but the rear is a pretty big difference. The rears, a rain rear will run about 30 PSI, where the dry rear will be down around 21, 22 hot off the warmer. So there's a pretty big difference.
All right, well, did I miss any other things, any mythology that we need to bust right now about tire warmers that we haven't hit?
Can't tell you the rest.
By shopping at sportbikewrench.com, you're supporting OnTheThrottle.TV and their efforts to bring you the best sport bike videos on the web. sportbikewrench.com, performance parts, professional advice.